Devon Rex is an eared Englishman with soft, wavy hair and huge eyes. Differs in curious, conflict-free character and almost dog-like loyalty to the owner. Devon Rex is a devoted friend, an affectionate annoyance in the body of a big-eyed alien from the neighboring galaxy. To become the owner of such a handsome person means to forget about solitude forever and not get annoyed discovering a purring-eared creature nearby every time you sit down in a chair. And this despite the fact that by the type of temperament, the Devons are by no means mattresses, but rather clockwork beasts. Moreover, in every representative of this breed a tireless climber slumbers sensitively, easily conquering any room Everests, from the table to the curtain rod. History of the Devon Rex breed. Devon Rex are the most common mutants, owing their textured appearance to a bizarre play of genes. The first, resembling an alien, Codify was captured in abandoned mines in the vicinity of Devon, England, back in the 60s of the last century. The eared homeless child who fell into the hands of the British woman Beryl Cox turned out to be a girl who, after a while, brought quite healthy offspring. As for the real fame, then, of course, she did not shine with the mustachioed ward of Mrs. Cox. But one of the babies born by a cat still managed to write his name in the history of world felinology. A kitten named Curly was born slightly curly, which puzzled his own mistress. By that time, the Cornish Rex breed was just beginning to come into fashion, whose representatives had wavy fur coats, so the woman came to the conclusion that her pet belongs to this particular cat family. To confirm her own guesses, Mrs. Cox showed Curly to the then famous breeder, Sterling Webb. The breeder also did not consider the representative of the new cat clan in the Devonian eared, so she tied him with her own Cornish Rex in the hope that they would give her several high-bred kittens and curls. However, the offspring born as a result did not inherit the wavy fur coats of their parents. Moreover, after several unsuccessful mating, it became clear that Curly is the carrier of a completely unique gene responsible for curly hair, and he is not a relative of the Cornish Rex. It was this discovery that served as a prerequisite for further breeding experiments. Curly, who had matured pretty much by that time, was first crossed with his half-wild mother and later with his sisters in order to fix the mutation responsible for the structure of the coat. So, figuratively speaking, all modern Devon Rhesus have a common great-grandfather. Not the least role in the popularization of the breed was played by the reputation of the county itself, in which curly-haired cat were found. Shrouded in a ghostly fog of folk legends and tales, Devon provided his mustachioed natives with a semi-mystical biography. As a result, the nickname Elves stuck to them, which the animals received because of their extraordinary appearance. At the same time, until the end of the 70s, both the Devonian and Cornish Rex were classified as two branches of the same breed and had a common standard of appearance. Only in 1979, under pressure from breeders, PCA gave elf-like cats the long-awaited independence and the right to their own history. To date, the Devon Rex breed has a very limited gene pool, therefore, in order to pump it, the phelinological associations approve of the crossing of curly-eared ears with representatives of other feline dynasties. In particular, the CFA considers the relationship between Devon Rex and British or American Shorthair to be permissible. TICA adds the European Shorthair, Siamese, and Bombay Merc cats to this list. The appearance of the Devon Rex. Either the notorious Martians or the characters of English folklore, approximately such associations are evoked by the appearance of these cats in people who first encountered the breed. The average Devon Rex with its huge eyes, curled mustaches and locator ears looks extremely shocking and could well claim a role in some blockbuster about an alien invasion. Of course, Devonian elves are far from infernal image of Canadian sphinxes, but this is the main feature of the breed for everyone who dreams of an elegant-eared cat but is not yet ready to settle a completely bald pet in his house. Head. According to the WCF standard, a true Devon Rex must have a small, wedge-shaped head, noticeably stretched in width. The muzzle of this feline family is short, with rounded cheeks and a massive chin. The stop is clearly pronounced. In general, the contours of the skull of the Devonshire aliens are quite embossed, if not sharp. Ears. The main identifying feature of the breed is huge, extremely deep-set ears with a wide base and a smooth rounded tip. The outer part of the cat's ear canal is covered with short, fine hair. The presence of brushes in the auricles is not necessary, but quite acceptable. Eyes. Quite large, repeating the shape of an oval in outline. They are set obliquely, at a sufficient distance from each other, which gives the appearance of the Devon Rex a slight aura of mystery. The color of the iris must match the color of the coat, which is why most cats have green, yellow or golden green eyes. Neck. Not very long, but extremely graceful. Housing. Paradox. Having a graceful, flexible body with a thin bone, Devon Rex are the real heavyweights, capable of overcoming the bar of 4.5 kilograms. The elf's chest is wide and massive, which is especially evident in cats. Extremities. The legs of the Devonshire cat are slender and very long, and the legs are oval and miniature. Tail. Thin, long, with a well-rounded tip. The hair on the tail is short, but not sparse. Wool. Devon Rex have virtually no top coat, which makes their coat feel particularly soft. In general, the fur coats of these eared ears have a very short pile with a light wave, which is especially distinctly felt if you stroke the pet in the area of the body. On the belly, neck and chest of the cat, hair is more rare, not to be confused with possible baldness, but on the back, tail, sides and muzzle, the hair is noticeably thicker. Kittens have shorter hair than adults, and often do not form the characteristic curl. Color. All types of colors are acceptable for Devon Rex, including acromolanic, temperature-dependent, variants. Defects and defects of the breed. At shows and championships, individuals with coarse hair, a disproportionate, elongated head, short tail and small ears do not receive an excellent mark. Devon Rex with serious external defects, such as pronounced bald spots, strabismus, polydactyly, excessively long shaggy coat, tail crease. The nature of the Devon Rex. Devon Rex, although they portray arrogant majors during photoshoots, remain docile and sociable cats at heart. In their fantastic attachment to humans, they resemble dogs. To follow the owner's tail, to control his every step, reminding him of his own presence with persistent purr, all these are typical Devon habits. Among other things, eared aliens are very curious and will gladly try to stick their nose where they can and where they cannot. Their anatomical gadgets help cats in this matter quite well. The fingers of the Devon Rex have amazing flexibility, comparable to the dexterity of human hands, so opening a kitchen cabinet door or throwing the lid of a box for an eared tracker is a matter of a few seconds. A notorious feline independence rested on the Devons, so do not be surprised if the pet not only occupies your knees with enviable consistency, but also persistently tries to hang on your shoulders. In a similar way, animals try to express their sympathy, which they do not always know how to dose. But with fantasy and ingenuity, the Devons are more than good. If the cat was given to understand that their mimicry is temporarily not needed, it can easily come up with another activity. For example, he will start playing with the first object that turns up under his paw or dive from the closet onto the bed until he gets bored. Exploring the drawers of the dresser, the contents of the laundry basket, or the drum of the washing machine are also quite popular quests among the Devons, therefore it is highly undesirable to leave the mustachioed Martian unattended for a long time. And the point here is not so much in the crap that a bored pet can arrange, but in the fact that the representatives of this breed do not know how to cope with loneliness. Deprived of the opportunity to constantly contact the owner, they get nervous, withdrawn into themselves, which greatly spoils their character. Devon Rex cats are absolutely not jealous cats, gladly accepting any four-legged creature into their company, although some breeders are of the opinion that it is not worth settling two newcomers in one apartment, as the animals will have to compete for master's attention. Another interesting in all respects character trait of Devonian Rex is their talkativeness. The eared prankster will purr in every way or meow invitingly in any scenario, so accept this feature as a fact or suppress the desire to have a representative of this breed. Training and education. Devon Rex are great clever people who willingly join the learning process and grasp new knowledge on the fly, especially if it is presented in a fun way. Take advantage of the animal's addiction to play and teach him how to handle toys and other small items. Believe me, in servility elves are almost as good as dogs, and in some tricks they even leave them behind. As for the stormy feline temperament, it must be curbed in a timely manner, so do not be lazy to instill in the pet the norms of etiquette and rules of behavior. Remember, a ban is a ban, exceptions from it are unacceptable. If the Devon Rex discovered a penchant for dancing on the dinner table, persistently wean him away from this pampering, but do not forget that the kitten needs to throw energy somewhere. You should not break the psyche of the animal, forbidding him any jumps. On the contrary, allow your pet to frolic as much as possible, but only in a place where its games will not cause serious damage. Maintenance and care. If an adult Devon Rex is simply curious and playful, then his kittens have these qualities to the limit, so if you already decided to get a curly-eared, accept the need for total surveillance at least in the first year of life. The most dangerous places in the house for meticulous Devons are the toilet, large containers of water and aquariums in which a tiny creature can easily drown. With indoor plants too, not everything is safe. The ubiquitous aliens will not miss an opportunity to chew on an azalea or lick a Dieffenbachia, which in 9 cases out of 10 will provoke severe poisoning in them. Accordingly, make your choice in advance, either flowers or cats. Do not forget to hide small piercing objects like needles and pins from the Devon Rex, which he perceives as toys. Medicines, insecticides, household chemicals should also not be in the public domain so that the cat does not have a desire to taste them. Be careful with the windows open. Of course, Devon Rex do not jump in them of their own free will, but in pursuit of some insect they can lose their vigilance and get injured. In order to settle down in a new place, the elf will need a standard set, a bowl, a scratching post, a tray. If saving on the comfort of a pet is not part of your plans, splurge on buying a full-fledged play complex or maze with pipes. Having acquired the ownership of such a residence, the Devon Rex will less often besiege furniture modules, which will somewhat reduce the destructiveness of his stay in your apartment. Hygiene. The good news, no specific care for the Devon Rex coat, except for the standard brushing, is required. Unpleasant news, you will have to scrupulously monitor the cleanliness and health of your pet's ears, as well as systematically clean its claws. In principle, it is not necessary to bathe Devons, this breed is already quite clean. But if your little eared ear has managed to get dirty, prepare a bath for it, the water temperature in which will not be higher than 38 degrees centigrade. After the animal is washed, dry it with a towel. It is better to forget about a hairdryer with Devon Rex. The jet of hot air, supplied by the device, dries out the skin of the cat and straightens its wavy hair. The ears of the Devon Rex, due to their standing position, easily attract dirt and quickly fill with sulfur secretions. And since the skin inside the ear funnel of the aliens is extremely sensitive, cleaning with vegetable oils and hydrogen peroxide is contraindicated for them. Replace folk remedies with pharmacy drops, cleaning wipes and lotions. Once a month, curly Merkas are given a pedicure session. The claw is shortened with a claw cutter, trying not to touch the area with a blood vessel. In addition, the Devonian claws are also supposed to be cleaned of fat deposits. To do this, it is enough to collect soapy water in a basin and prepare a natural bristle brush. Next, gently press on the cat's fingers so that it releases the claw outward and process the base of the plate with a soapy brush. After all the claws are cleaned, wash the cat's paw in warm water and wipe it dry. The procedure is carried out every 7 to 10 days, so if at first the Devon Rex try to rebel, then after a couple of months of regular cleaning they completely calm down and behave decently. To remove plaque, you can use a bandage wrapped around a finger soaked in veterinary paste. If you don't want to trust the cat's jaws with your own fingers, you can try dry food, the hard crickets of which also cope well with the problem of plaque. Walked. Devon Rex are exclusively pets, so they are either not taken outside at all, or from time to time they walk on a harness. It is very risky to let the cat go to free swimming, as they do not always return from it. Teach your baby to harness in advance, not forgetting about the mandatory vaccination, which will help the pet to resist infections. It is better to start walking at an early age. This will make it easier for the animal to get used to the new reality surrounding it. Feeding. Devon Rex willingly eat both dried and canned food, but these should be varieties of at least premium and preferably holistic class. Cheap pacifier feeds are completely unsuitable for the breed, so forget about Whiskas, Kitticat and other economy class varieties. With natural food, things are even more complicated. Many Devon Rex foods are harmful, and those that are beneficial are not always able to provide the body with enough essential amino acids, taurine and arginine. Accordingly, if your pet eats exclusively natural, you will have to additionally buy a vitamin and mineral complex for him. Good options are offered by Beefer and 8-in-1. The daily menu of the Devon Rex should include low-fat meat, sea fish, no more than 1 time per week, dairy products, fats in the form of butter and vegetable oils, cereals, vegetables and herbs. Hypoallergenic. The hypoallergenicity of the Devon Rex is a myth that has been cultivated by enterprising breeders for several years now. Yes, Devons do not shed as intensely as other cats, but their fur is not distinguished by absolute sterility either. Like most pets, Devon Rex periodically lick their own fur coats, thanks to which they get on the main nightmare of all allergy sufferers, the FeLD1 protein. It is this protein, contained in cat saliva, that is responsible for tearing, sneezing and other allergic reactions of the body. Accordingly, bringing a Devonian kitten to an apartment where one of the tenants has a hypersensitive immune system, you run the risk in the same way as if you had settled an outbred Fluffy. Devon Rex health and disease. The Devon Rex can be called a relatively healthy feline nation, which, due to its youth, did not manage to acquire a long list of genetic ailments. Still, there are some health problems among these stalwarts. For example, adults often suffer from hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. The disease is difficult to diagnose, in addition, effective methods of treatment do not yet exist. Muscular dystrophy in Devon Rex occurs at a young age, between 4 and 17 weeks of age. As in the case of the first ailment, the disease is virtually untreatable. Dislocation of the patella is quite common among representatives of this breed, leading to osteoarthritis and further lameness in advanced stages. How to choose a kitten. Start by looking for a reliable cattery registered in one of the phenological systems and having managed to develop a breeding base and regular customers. The optimal age of the establishment is 8 or more years. The cost of the Devon Rex also plays an important role. Serious sums are spent on the maintenance of pedigree kittens unless the breeder is cunning and does not save on their health. So too low a price tag is a reason to think about the honesty and conscientiousness of the seller. As for the choice of the Devon Rex kitten, then accept the thought that no self-respecting cattery will sell you a guaranteed champion. And all because it is beyond the power of even the most hardened cat lover to find exhibition potential in a tiny eared. The maximum that you can count on in the event of a purchase is for a baby without serious external defects, which may evolve into a show-class animal and, perhaps, will remain a modest pet. As commercial breeding of Devon Rex began to gain serious momentum, deception in the sale takes place. So, when communicating with a cattery employee in absentia, always ask for as many photos and videos of the baby you like as possible in order to ensure yourself against buying a cat in a poke. If you visit the seller in person, evaluate the living conditions of Devonian eared dogs, take a look at the documents of their parents, as well as themselves, and then proceed to assess the appearance of the kittens. The correct Devon Rex is a healthy, well-fed and inquisitive kitten with curly hair without a single bald spot. The inner surface of the baby's ear canal should be clean and without wounds. In addition, the animal itself should be at least 3 months old. The vet passport of a Devon will also say a lot about his health and how attentively the breeder treated the kitten. A 3-month-old Devon Rex should receive 2 routine vaccinations, the marks of which are entered on his chart. How much is a Devon Rex? In Russian catteries, a breed class kitten in the so-called good type will cost between $400 and $500. Devon Rex with minor defects in appearance that do not prevent them from being great pets cost $300 to $400. The price tag of $100 is usually set for kittens whose pedigree or health is not alright.